Hi, welcome to the Forecasting for Success podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Brie. I'm a doctor of psychology, financial educator, astrologer, and founder of Forecasting for Success, a community of people improving their financial literacy to achieve financial independence. I blend my expertise as a former professor and financial intelligence analyst with the tool of astrology to help break down why you are struggling with specific money habits and the best way to form more intentional responses and choices when it comes to money, especially to help you feel more secure in your financial decisions and improve your money skills for building long-term wealth. Hello, welcome back to the Forecasting for Success podcast. Thank you so much for being here. Today, I'm speaking with speaker and medium Rebecca Pilger, who has a powerful personal story and unique expertise that helps clients connect with their soul's true desire. I do want to mention a content warning that today's episode includes the topics of partner endangerment and sexual assault. So if either topic is sensitive for you presently, I understand if you need to skip this episode, and I hope to see you back here next week. If you're doing well otherwise and can stick around for this episode, I'm excited for you to hear what Rebecca has to share, which includes discussing divine feminine energy and how to shift from survival mode to drawing in abundance and purpose for yourself. And I encourage you to share this episode with your close family and friends who can also benefit from what Rebecca shares. Okay, with that, let's get started. So welcome, Rebecca. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to dive into this and to actually connect with you and your audience.
Me too. I'm so glad that you're here. Would you mind just going ahead and introducing yourself and just letting you know maybe some of your background, some of your story of how you came to have your very unique skill sets that you have?
Yeah, sure. I try to fit everything in as short as I can because my life story is so deep and so long. So it took me a couple of setbacks, challenges, and I took the long road to get where I am right now. But basically, right now, I'm a spiritual and motivational and inspirational speaker, and I help women or others in general. I don't like to just say women because who am I to decide? So I let spirit decide who wants to work with me, who resonates with me. But I help others actually get through survival mode, get through all that holds them back, stop dimming their light, and shift into their divine natural energy. And for women, it's not always, but it's often the divine feminine energy. So to just set this straight, divine feminine energy doesn't have to be a man or a woman. It's gender neutral. It's an essence. It's an energy where you thrive in. So you can be a male and thrive in your divine feminine energy. I get into this later on, but for now, I just wanted to make sure this is clear. So I help people shift into their divine feminine energy to actually start manifesting and thriving in their life. Because from survival mode, you're stuck. You are frozen and you're at your bare minimum. And I used to be in this for years. I didn't know. I was probably all my life in there. From my second life year, basically all the way to last year, I was stuck in survival mode and I didn't know. I thought because it became so second nature, I thought this is normal. I thought it's okay that you're just hyper vigilant and you're always struggling, hustling, pushing, and that it's okay to not feel like you can rest because I thought everybody's like this. I thought everybody is pushing through, and burnout is a huge part. It's sometimes burnout is a cover up for your survival mode. And I had multiple burnouts, and I've been through people pleasing. And people pleasing is also a mechanism which is basically pushed through from survival mode. Survival mode basically hides behind a lot of different things. And I've been through a lot of those. So when I realized why is my life not working the way I want to? I tried so many manifestation methods and it didn't work. It didn't resonate. And I was thinking I was missing a gene or something. I
Yeah.
thought, well, it's not working for me. So maybe I'm doing something wrong, which is the totally wrong attempt. So I thought, why am I picking always the wrong guys? Maybe there's no love for me in this lifetime,
Mm.
which was wrong as well. So I uncovered all these patterns. I had toxic family members, and from there on, this was basically the pattern, the cookie cutter form I used for every other relationship in my life. Until 3 years ago, I had an entire crash.
Oh.
My life burned overnight. Basically, I lost my home, I lost my job, I was self-employed. So he took my business, he emptied my bank account, he made
Mm.
debt in my name, he took my apartment, all my stuff, and I was in the middle of grief by myself and my dog. And we basically waited until he was in the gym and we took the car and just ran off because we were afraid of our life. So
Wow.
it's, I feel like these moments are when spirit pushes you.
Mm.
It's, I ignored the signs so often because we all have those. When we think back, I like to, since I'm really spiritual, I like to say it's spirit, but I'm sure you find a psychology analogy for this as well, a term. So for me, it was these tiny nudges, and we all have those. It's the moments where you feel like there's a red flag and you ignore it, or you feel like it doesn't feel well in your stomach. You have this gut feeling. And I feel like gut feeling is just another term for intuition. And your soul is your intuition. So your soul tried to tell you something, but we ignore it. And spirit does this. You get the small little nudges. And the more you ignore it, the tougher the situation gets. And the nudges get stronger and stronger until spirit almost throws a brick at you. And this is what happened to me. I got thrown at, and I realized, wow, now it's all over. But I always think there's a gift in everything. And this was the biggest gift spirit could give me because I got a second chance in life. I got to start changing my life. I got to actually connect with myself and my soul again. I realized that this isn't life for me. And this was never meant to be my life because there is something like purpose. And I didn't even uncover my purpose yet at that time. So there were so many gifts hidden in there that in the end, I always say we think the curse is just so horrible, but maybe the curse is the blessing. And in this, for me, the curse was definitely my blessing, and it was the best thing that could ever happen. And from there on, I actually realized I was in survival mode. All this was survival mode. And most people don't know. The point is, when you're in survival mode, you're just stuck. You froze yourself. It's nothing you should stay in for long. It's something you're just in for a short moment when you had to run off from a tiger or from danger. But no one is supposed to stay in this for 36 years or
Mm-hmm.
it's something you you can't manifest from there. You can't find true love. You can't be magnetic. You can't live the dream life or a fulfilling life or a life that you really deserve for this matter because you're just frozen.
Absolutely. I'm really happy to hear that you're doing much better now. Like I'm
Thank
sorry
you.
to hear that you had to go through all that. But you make a really good point that people who have experienced great challenges, loss, grief, honestly, these are the people who can be most empathetic with their clients and have the most to offer other people is because you've not only proven that you went through something and overcame it, but that you have genuine, actionable advice for other people to help others as well. So you're right that that's a really positive silver lining from a tremendous challenge like that.
Yes, and I feel like this is maybe your purpose. Maybe you needed to go through this. And I took a lot of things in my life. I took a lot of turns. In business, this is my fifth business now, and each business has a different personality. So I feel like our lives are so layered, and there are so many lessons in each department of our lives. And I'm somebody I lived life to the fullest. I took every setback, every challenge there is, because I feel like my soul, it was on a mission.
Mhm.
I'm strongly believing that before souls come to this earth, they pick a life based on challenges they have to overcome. And it's your soul growth through enormous pressure. So you get set into a space that's really uncomfortable, that forces you to grow and evolve. This doesn't mean our souls are vicious. I feel like they pick this because for them, a challenge is not bad. It's something equal as bliss and joy. It's something like a menu they pick, and it doesn't matter for them if it's curly fries or fries. It's all the same. So I feel like this is how our souls pick. So it's not that they want you to suffer. It's your soul wants you to grow and evolve so you get better. You become your highest version. So you're prepared for the next life. And so if you see it from this point of view, challenges are just opportunities. And I feel like we grow all in our lifetimes. The question is, how do you want to grow? Because when you have a blissful life, you grow as well. But when you're under pressure and you're in a setback or challenging situation, you grow much faster. It's an acceleration. So depending on what your soul picked for you, what's the end goal, you go through more challenges. So my soul picked a life which is really challenging. So I evolve and become the version I'm supposed to be for this life, because there is a not destination, but there's a silver lining. You have a purpose. And some people don't believe in purpose. I do. And I feel like purpose is what helps me thrive. It's what helps me get through this, because I know there is a purpose for me, and for each and every one, there's a purpose. The question is, do you want to see it that way or not? And do you want to uncover your purpose and work towards it? Or do you want to ignore it? We all have a choice.
Absolutely. I completely agree. And I also like viewing life that way, to where we're here purposely to overcome challenges and evolve, not only as ourselves, but on a soul level as well. And
Mhm.
it's really interesting what you were saying earlier, that the more we resist the change, the more obvious the indicators are going to be, the more obvious the universe or spirit is going to put it right in your face of,
Yeah.
this is not really an option. Like, this is something that you need to confront and consciously work on and work towards so that you can evolve as a person. So it is important to try to learn how to key into our intuition and how to pay a little more attention. That way we recognize what's happening earlier and not have to have such extreme examples or extreme challenges of, hey, you're supposed to be learning a certain lesson right now.
Yeah. But I I want to say this, it's really sometimes hard to see if it's soul aligned or ego aligned,
Very
because
much.
they feel similar. And our ego, each and every one of us has an ego. And the ego isn't the villain within us. The ego is basically a protection mechanism. It's similar to survival mode. It's trying to protect you. So every once in a while, our ego pushes up, and it's amazing because it's an indicator that you're protected. But we don't need our egos all the time. So I
Mhm.
always say, when I feel like ego is pushing up, I'm saying, thank you, ego, for showing me that you're there. Thank you for trying to protect me, but I got it from here. So I don't need you no longer. And it's this no judgment, and it's this love and peace, but I don't need it. And usually my ego goes. So the point where you can say, oh, this is ego, this is my soul, is soul is usually so quiet, peaceful, calm, ease and grace. It's so easy when you do something soul aligned, it just flows. So for me, for example, in the business, this business actually, it's when I started this business, I've been through a lot of rebirths through this last 2 years because I thought, well, the previous businesses, they worked. So I just copy and paste. No, this is not how it works. Each business has a own soul, a own energy, and your business wants something different. The previous businesses, they were all thriving and they were really working well and successful. But I was a different person back then. So now I'm a different individual. I'm in a different energy. I shifted from this survival, this hustle into the divine feminine. And I couldn't apply the hustle mentality to the divine feminine because it was colliding. And I didn't get this in the beginning. So I started something and I pushed and I pushed and I pushed. And I thought, like, this is the product, until I realized this is not soul aligned, it's ego aligned, because my main focus was on making money, helping others, but helping others with something I wasn't really equipped to do. It was more, maybe I was equipped to do, but my soul didn't want to do it. This was colliding with my purpose. So here's the thing. When you know it's soul aligned, it's a peace and quiet feeling. It's a knowing sometimes, and it's so easy. You just do it. There's no pressure, no urgency, no ego attached. It's no, I need to do this, or if I don't do it now, I will miss my way. It's nothing like this. It's this knowing and this feeling, I could do this. There's no overthinking. It's just you do it. And it's so easy. It's just flowing and the energy is returning and you thrive. This is the difference, because I feel like we all, especially when we're new to this, we don't know. We can't tell the difference in between both of them. And ego is really like a chameleon. It likes to hide and it likes to camouflage and pretend to be aligned.
That's a really important distinction. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Sure.
I think it's really interesting what you were saying earlier about having people understand when they might be in survival mode, because the psychological term that you were referencing earlier is cognitive dissonance. And it's a type of bias that we have to where we don't really want to confront what's truly happening. So I'd be really interested to see if you can share with us how someone might identify that they're in survival mode, either personally or when it comes to their business.
Yeah, sure. For me, when I was in survival mode, I saw all those little tiny dots basically. It was this from being all the time stressed, my body had reactions. And this is something I feel like sometimes our mind knows, our soul definitely knows, but our body is a great indicator because our mind doesn't want to know. So your body is never hiding. And your body is always telling you the truth. So for me, I had huge hormonal imbalances. I had bloated stomach. I had periods and no periods for a long time, hair loss. I was under stress all the time. I had digestion issues to the point where I wasn't able to eat anything. It started with I couldn't eat dairy. Then I couldn't eat meat. So I started to be vegan. And then I couldn't eat gluten anymore. And from there on, it started until I was only able to eat fruits, vegetable, and oatmeal.
Ooh.
And this took me 2.5 years where I was only on this diet. And it was really tough on my body because then obviously I started to lack vitamins and minerals and it got really bad. So from there on, my body started to shift into burnout after burnout. I had migraines. Every weekend, I got migraines. These are huge indicators because your body knows and it tries to tell you. Every time you have something in your body, it's telling you because it doesn't have a voice, but it tells you something is wrong. And usually when you just sit in stillness, close your eyes, connect with your body, with your soul, you will realize what's going on. It will tell you. And then you can actually work with this. Another really indicator for me was when I started feeling like rest was something bad. I couldn't rest. I was always like, I can't rest because then I'm lazy. Then I'm not finishing what I have to. I have to do this. I have to hustle because it's connected to my worth. If I stop hustling, I won't be worthy to be in this society. Maybe I'm useless, and useless people are not getting loved. So I couldn't do this. So it got really into this. I had traumatic experiences. I been through a lot of rape and emotional, physical, sexual, harmful relationships. Usually, when you've been through trauma, it's a great indicator when you're on edge, when you're moody, when you need extreme rest, you're always sleepy, you're in survival mode, your body is telling you. And this is an indicator. So it's not always, but it's usually when you have a traumatic experience, your body just shifts into survival mode. And that's okay for a period. But you need to shift back into your natural energy. But if you don't do this, you should do something because this is harmful. I used to have PTSD. This is a survival mode mechanism. So if you have this, it's PTSD or complex PTSD is usually when you get set back into situations, when you get panic attacks, you are really scared or noise makes you afraid. There are a lot of triggers. So if you experience this, it's usually survival mode. Dissociation, I had this too. It's a huge list.
Sure.
It's when you feel like you're not in your body. I used to think this was my superpower because I been through a traumatic experience and my soul shows that this is too dangerous for me to live through. So I was able to disconnect from my body and I was like, I couldn't feel anything. I was just not there. It's not a superpower, it's a survival mechanism, and your body is trying to protect you, to protect your emotional life, your mental health. So these are all signs. And people pleasing is a huge sign. This is something when you, for example, in my experience, it was narcissistic parents. You get to learn to read the room. It's like, I thought, oh, it's psychic. And yes, it's probably how I taught myself to be really psychic, but it's usually you just read the energy, the emotions of rooms. So you get really good at knowing what people want from you, knowing who people want you to be. And you become this version. You shift into this and you try to read people's mind and help them, do everything for them and ignore yourself. This is how you learn to survive. But you don't need to survive because you're enough just the way you are. So at a certain point, we need to realize that we are just worthy and deserving the way we are, and we are supposed to shift out of this. This is just a short-term period where we're supposed to be in this.
Absolutely. And like I said, I'm really happy that you're doing so much better now because you're
Thank
right.
you.
That's a lot of different challenges and trauma to have to overcome. So it really speaks to your strength of soul and your strength of character to overcome so many challenges that you've had to face in your life. And you're
Thank
right that,
you.
yeah, absolutely. And you're right that it's difficult for many of us, especially people who have experienced trauma, to get out of the people-pleasing mode. And also what you were speaking to, where you have to anticipate other people's emotions and behaviors in order to try to keep yourself safe. And
Mhm.
so it's something that a lot of people do, not even consciously, to understand where they've completely set aside their own emotions, their own thoughts and desires to just anticipate what people around them are doing or might do
Yeah.
as a way of self-preservation. So, in your experience in your area of expertise, is there anything that you recommend to your clients or just recommend in general to help people have better connections to themselves, their emotions or nervous system, if you will, in order to try to move towards manifesting a healthier reality, a better reality, or even moving into a type of personal or business success?
Yes, of course. This is the beautiful thing. First of all, our souls pick this life. So you're equipped with everything you need. The strength is already within you. You're not, yes, we feel overwhelmed sometimes, but it's just because we see this huge amount of things we need to do. But when we break it down, it's just one step at a time. It sounds so ridiculous when people say this, but the reality is really like this. It's how would you eat a filet mignon? You wouldn't just stuff it in your face and you would choke to death probably. But if you cut it in small pieces, it's delicious and it's easier to digest. And this is basically our healing journey. So I feel like the most important thing when you feel like, okay, now I know I'm in survival mode, just sit in this moment and it feels good to finally label it because before you didn't know what you have. It's usually like, okay, I'm supposed to be like this. This is how I am. No, nobody of us is like this. Survival, nobody got born into survival. It's not your natural energy. So just let this soak in and feel good with this because now you finally know what you have and now you know how to fix this. And then I feel like be really compassionate with yourself because you've been just through hell, basically. You just fought the entire time. And depending on how long you've been in this survival mode, it will take a little longer to make your soul or your nervous system understand that you're basically safe and you don't need to hold on to this energy. So the goal in this is to shift in your natural energy. It's usually your soul knows what it is. In it, there are indicators and you will find out. So you can either shift in your divine feminine energy, which is the energy where you sit in your intuition. You connect really deeply with your intuition and you let everything come towards you with ease and grace. So it's nothing, no hustle, no doing. It's intuitive. And this is really hard when you're in this survival mode before where you hustled. So you need to calm your mind and your nervous system and make your soul, your inner child, feel safe. And what I like to do is, which is really, really simple, and you do this a couple of days, a couple of times a day, is place your hand on your heart and the other one on your womb or your lower belly, and just breathe a couple of times. And you can audibly exhale because this helps your nervous system to just release. And when you do this, connect to yourself, connect with your breath, and listen to your body. And then tell yourself that you are safe. Tell yourself that you might not be there before, but now you will show up. It's basically you reparent yourself. And there's a thing because I feel like most of us, have maybe a negative childhood experience and maybe our parents weren't the best parenting style. They didn't use the best parenting style they should have used. So what I recognized within me was I talked to myself and then I was like, why don't you do this? And it was pressuring myself. And I abused my inner child basically, unknowingly, until I realized I'm talking the same way my parents do or did with me. I'm using the same pattern, and it's normal because of course we copy what we see in our parents. It's something we naturally do. But this is your little disclaimer right now. So before you talk to yourself, check in. How do you talk to yourself? Are you nurturing? Are you safe? Do you give your inner child, your soul, what it truly wants, what she truly deserves right now? Or are you using a borrowed parenting style you really don't need? So this is something to check in before you really talk to yourself. And sometimes I just like to connect with nature because I feel like nature is such a beautiful thing to just go out, connect to Gaia, to Mother Earth. Nature is around, nature has an energy on its own, so you can feel it and connect with yourself and ask yourself, how do you feel right now? Because we don't do this, especially when you're in survival mode or in people pleasing. You totally forgot what you need. You totally forgot what you deserve. And you know what everybody else needs, but not what you need. So this time it's about you. And I always think building self-love is so vital because this is basically the first stepping stone. If you don't feel love for yourself, you don't see the urgency to step out of survival mode. There's no reason for you because you think you're not worthy and deserving of love or anything. So I feel like build self-love is the first step. Take care of yourself and really connect to yourself. And there's a wonderful exercise you can do. It's a mirror exercise. Stand in front of a mirror, look yourself in the eyes, and really connect to your soul. People say the eyes are the window to the soul, and it's true. You can see your soul through your eyes. Really connect to her and tell her that you're there, that you love her. And this is actually, it's magical. It's moving mountains when you really connect to your soul and you tell her that you love her, because this is such a powerful self-love tool. And when you really feel like you have self-love enough that you say, I'm worthy and deserving of more than this survival mode, then you're already on your way.
That's lovely. And I really like the recommendations that you provided because it's helping each person on many different fronts because it helps them be more present with themselves. It helps their mind-body connection of trying to match their inner voice and also with their feelings and their emotions and maybe sensing what's physically going on in their body. And you're right that it's helpful for getting in touch with yourself in the present, but also setting yourself up for success for your future, for how you envision your future. So thank you so much for
Yes.
sharing those.
Oh, no, of course. I'm really happy I could help because I know when I started, I felt so lost. I felt like there was nothing. And thank God I'm really connected to spirit. So I got my guidelines and my soul guided me. But without this, when you're kind of lost, it's so easy when somebody already went through this and they give you some tools and you can actually connect to those tools, because I feel like find tools that resonate for you. It doesn't matter if it's psychology, breath work, somatic things, calming your nervous system, spiritual tools. It doesn't matter. Build a toolbox from everything you really like and just mix and match and make it work for yourself, because the most important thing is it needs to resonate with you, with your soul. And when it does, it works magically. But if it doesn't, you try to swim against something which isn't aligned. It's like trying to, I don't know, conquer the ocean. It's not going to work.
That's exactly right. And you bring up such a good point about making sure you have multiple tools that you can use because as you were saying, people and things evolve over time. So
Mhm.
you can mix and match these different tools how you need them, how to fit yourself and what you're feeling and the situation or what you're trying to overcome.
Yes. And you
Yeah.
said something right now which triggered me because I had this recently. I had a self-love. I actually have a self-love course. And I was so proud of this because I was like, it helped me build self-love because I had nothing when I started. So I was like, I need to share this. And then I realized a couple of weeks ago, a month ago, that it didn't work the way it used to. And
Ah.
I was like, why isn't it working anymore? And it's because I use beginner tools for someone who's already journeyed a little longer and who's advanced. So I evolved, I developed my self love, but I still use the tools from the beginning and it didn't work anymore. So I use the basis of the tools and I changed them a little. So they actually worked and resonated with me again. And this is something sometimes we hit a plateau and we think, why is it not working anymore? It used to work so fantastic. It's because you're better now. You're already swimming really well. So why should you still use the little swimming helping swimmer wings or what it is? It's you graduated, and so should your tools as well.
Absolutely. And I'm so happy that you're sharing this with people because as you guide others with your lived experiences and your expertise, it's helping remind other people that it's okay to modify things as necessary, that it's okay to not be stuck in this really tight, small box, that we're supposed to grow and evolve, like you're saying, with all these different skills and tools and things that we have at our fingertips. So hopefully people, one of the things that they can take away from hearing you is just understanding that you have self agency, you have the autonomy to modify and use different things as you need them in the moment, that you don't have to stick with something one time and believe that that's how it always has to be. So hopefully people hear your story and the things that you're sharing and know that they can grow just as you have.
Yes, definitely. I believe we all are alchemists. We all have the power of being an alchemist. So these are the tools I share right now are just the first stepping stones. So we all need just the first couple of stepping stones. And after that, we have our intuition. And then our intuition will guide us. It's just this I reach out a hand, so I help you lift up. And after that, you start walking on your own. It's you realize, oh, this tool doesn't work for me anymore, and I need something else. And hitting a plateau is actually not bad at all. It's a wonderful sign that you evolved because we forget how far we've come. So every time we hit a plateau, it's actually a sign how far you've already come and how much you've grown and you evolved and you're already your higher version. So it's a good sign, honestly.
Absolutely. And something that I think was really important that you also mentioned earlier is the feminine energy. It's not speaking to a gender, it's speaking to the spectrum of masculine and feminine energy that's open to everyone. Is that something that you can actually speak to more and share more with us, just to explain how you tap into feminine energy and how you use it to help yourself be successful?
Yes, of course. The divine feminine energy is a beautiful, powerful energy because it's different. Right now, our society is in the masculine energy. So it's taking action, working towards your goal, it's planning, it's scheduling. This is the divine masculine energy. And it's not negative. We all have both within us, but we shift towards a portion which is just more permanent within us. So you decide which energy you feel more nurtured better in. Usually your soul already picked. So and if you decide to be in your divine feminine energy, it's different than what we know, what we see in this world. It's basically you live from a space where your energy is so magnetic that everything flows towards you and you don't have to do anything else than just be. It sounds really different than what we know, because usually it's like being is not enough. But in this case, being is everything you need. The more you love yourself, the more you'll see your worth, and the more you are connected to your intuition, the more you are magnetic. And magnetizing, you are magnetizing in regards to energy, because I feel like we all are energy. So when your love is basically love, gratitude, bliss, it's all the higher emotions, the higher frequency energies, which is when you are in the divine feminine energy. So you already pull the good opportunities, the love, the bliss, the high energies towards you. It's all coming. So when you manifest from a state of divine feminine energy, all you need to do is wishing for something, and it's coming. It's on its way. And you rest in this energy, in the knowing that it's coming. You know that everything works in your highest favor. You know that life is working for you and not against you. And you know that you sit in stillness and just be, and everything is orchestrated around you to the point that spirit is bringing you opportunities you haven't even thought about. And it's coming, and it's perfect. Everything is happening in divine timing, and it's either what you wished for or even better. So when you reach this energy, there is nothing you can't have. You can have, and this is something a lot of us think, and we get told by society that we can't have a family, a business, a beautiful relationship, and everything is thriving, and we are successful and financially wealthy. You can have all. There's no, you have to pick two or so. You can have everything, really. And it's all thriving, because the more you sit in your energy, the more you feel peaceful, calm, and you trust and have faith that everything works out for you, the more you send out this energy, and everybody else is getting attracted by this beautiful energy. And yes, this sounds maybe like, oh no, I don't want everybody to be attracted. No, only the good, the high energies who are matching your energy will be attracted. So you're safe. Spirit is protecting you because you're in your natural divine state. So you're divinely protected. Spirit is taking care of you. So there's no harm. You're the Empress, and you're in your Empress energy. And so everything is flowing towards you.
Absolutely. And that's such an important thing to highlight, is to not self-limit your own motivations and your own desires and goals. That's such an important message, because sometimes people may not even be aware that that's what they're doing to themselves, that they just anticipate failure, or they just say, oh, maybe I'm not deserving, or it's not worth it, it's too hard. And so it's a very important message for people to not self-limit yourself, that if you truly want something, if there's a goal that's important to you, then tap into feminine energy and go after it.
Yes, it's totally, it's there for you. And what I see a lot of people do, and I used to do this too, I thought like, well, for example, with love, I was thinking, well, I would wish to have a soulmate. I would love that. And then I was like, well, maybe this is a little high. Maybe I'm just wishing for someone who is good with me, because everybody's telling me perfect. There's nothing like perfect. So maybe I just wish for something okay. And this is how we limit ourselves. It's people say, I want to be a millionaire. And then they think, maybe that's a little, maybe I wish for that $10,000 a month or so, because this feels comfortable. And we don't need comfortable. It's the universe can give you everything. You don't have to limit yourself. It's like flying ants. You put them in a jar and put the lid on, and flying ants just fly to the lid because they think, oh, this is the limit. The sky is the limit here. So when you screw off the lid, they're still in there. They could fly away, but they never go all the way up because they think they're still in capture. So they're okay with this. They never try. And this is basically like most of us are. We have our comfort zone or our own limitations, and we think, well, I hit this limitation. No, I stay away from this because here it's safe. But it's basically you just overcame survival mode and now you put something else which feels like survival mode around your dreams, around yourself. And this is just another prison you put yourself in. Well, you can have everything. And it's probably society conditioning. They tell us you can't have everything. You can't be a great mom and be successful and wealthy and have this amazing house and this dream husband because this is not in store for you. You can be either mom and then you live in an okay house and you don't have a career because, and this is, we limit ourselves. You can really have everything.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's really important to take a moment and think about what the narrative inside your head is at the moment and make sure that you're not doing anything to limit yourself and what you want to go after.
Yes.
Yeah. Are there any other words of wisdom or topics that you would like to highlight today?
Wow. I think we've been through so many things. I feel like the most important thing is really what people need to know is that they have all the wisdom within them. It's you just need to connect to yourself. And this is something which is really hard right now because we are so in hustle and bustle and everything is so busy. And to connect to stillness, to just rest, it's so important to listen to your intuition and hear when your soul says, I want to rest. I want to just sit in stillness. I want a day just watching Netflix and eating ice cream or so. It's sometimes we feel like we can't have this or we shouldn't have this. And this is so wrong because I feel like rest is a beautiful, sacred way to accelerate your journey later on. It's not like a punishment, it's not like a stillness or stagnant. It's actually a preparation to accelerate. Usually during rest times, we update our DNA, we start healing truly. And this is the foundation we need to get to the next place. So I feel like this is something we should know, all of us, that it's okay to listen to ourselves. And for the divine feminine, because I remember you asked me earlier what people can do to connect deeper to their divine feminine. I feel like it's really, the moon is really connected to the divine feminine energy. So today is the pink full moon, and the next full moon is coming definitely. So depending on when the episode will air, wait till the full moon and maybe make yourself a hot cacao ceremony. It's basically really dark chocolate and some cinnamon and some cardamom. Put it all in there, heat it up, sit somewhere comfortable and ground yourself. And really slowly drink this hot chocolate and feel it really nurture yourself because the hot cacao is actually connecting to the divine feminine, the cinnamon as well. So you can imagine how it's going through your body into your womb and into your entire body, and just maybe use the mantra that with every sip it's washing away everything that you don't know, you don't need any longer, which doesn't serve you anymore. And it just use it as like the tide, the waves and the tide. It's just washing it away. And you release it and you make space for love and light. And when you do this, you really connect to yourself and you can breathe and connect to your breath And maybe even use circular motions and really connect to your divine feminine. You feel how she is really awakening.
That's lovely. That's such an important ritual and reminder that we all deserve rest. We don't need an excuse. As long as we feel like we need rest, we should take it. And you're right,
Yes,
people should not punish themselves and avoid rest if they, for some reason, feel like they don't deserve it or if they feel like it's a waste of time. It's certainly not. It's really important to rest and regenerate ourselves. And I'll make sure that the episode comes out in time so that people can prepare for the next full moon. That was an excellent tip. Thank you.
sure, you're welcome. I hope people will resonate with this because I really loved it and it was such a game changer for me.
Absolutely. Where can people find you if they would like to work with you or even listen to your podcast?
My podcast is a Soul Desire, and they can find it everywhere basically. And I'm on Instagram at RebeccaPilger.com, and I think you will probably put everything in the show notes and my website as well. So I just hope people find this helpful. I do have a newsletter. It's Soul Message. So I usually share what's on my mind, what's my journey currently, or a self-care tip, a self-love tip, or a connection, how you can connect deeper to your divine feminine, or whatever is actually currently important to me. So I share everything there.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me. It was really wonderful talking to you.
I want to thank you so much for joining me this week on Forecasting for Success and let you know that you can read the transcript for each podcast episode on my website, which is linked below in the show notes. I've also included the link to send me your money questions if you'd like to be a guest on the podcast at forecastingforsuccess.com/podcast. And if you're ready to get started on improving your financial literacy and developing your own personalized money plan, I encourage you to join my Forecasting for Success community, where I teach you everything you need to know about budgeting, how to choose your retirement number, how to invest in the stock market, and so much more. I go live in the community each month to check in on your progress and help answer any questions you may have. And it's a supportive community where you can also check in with other members and learn from their experiences as well. I hope you take good care of yourself, and I'll talk to you next week.